In Germany, the general election is just 2 days away. The latest polls show that two parties, Angela Merkel's CDU and Martin Schulz's SPD, lead the race. However, third place could play kingmaker should there be a minority government. Die Linke, or the left, is among the contenders. RT's Peter Oliver visited their rally in Berlin.
Who the left party are, Die Linke? Well, they are on the left side of the political spectrum here, as their name suggests. They're campaigning on this election for a rise in the minimum wage, for caps on rents in cities like Berlin and other major cities across the country. Also, they want to see more investment in healthcare and the dissolution of NATO. They're strongly against that alliance. They also want to see higher taxes. A tax rate of 75% on higher earners has been flaunted. But this campaign has been wrought by infighting between Die Linke, between those who see themselves as traditional socialists and upholding the what they see as the traditional socialist values of the party, and between those who some have accused of just wanting to do anything to get into power. Now, one of those that's caused some controversy has been one of the candidates for Chancellor for Die Linke, Sarah Wagenknecht. Now, she caused controversy, suggesting the Berlin Wall was a necessary evil. Also, her views when it comes to refugees and migrants, that saw her receive a cream pie in the face from some of her party members, or some of those that support the party anyway, who say that she was too critical and too far, even closer to the populist Alternative for Deutschland in her policies when it came to refugees. When it comes to what Die Linke can expect, or the left can expect to take when it comes to polling on Sunday, they're currently set around 8%, depending on who you listen to, higher or lower than that number. They aren't going to be, of course, one of the main parties that could potentially win it, but they could fall into a coalition. However, that coalition certainly will not be with Angela Merkel's CDU. She said she won't stand with Die Linke, she won't stand with Alternative for Germany either on the right. So that leaves us in a situation, though, that we're counting down the last final stages of this German election campaign. And one question that is being asked, though, is, weren't the Russians going to hack this? Expectations that Russia would try and meddle in the German vote haven't been met. But that doesn't mean that there hasn't been interference. There has. It just hasn't come from Moscow. German researchers say they've tracked down online trolls who've been posting attacks against Angela Merkel and other leading German candidates, while putting online and promoting support for the anti-immigration Alternative for Germany party.
A lot of the stuff we're seeing in Germany can be linked to, or at least inspired by, the alt-right movement in the US.
The German cabinet meets every Wednesday morning just behind me, and after this week's meeting, the Interior Minister came out and sounded almost disappointed that they hadn't uncovered a Russian plot to nefariously fiddle in this year's federal elections.
We don't see that Putin has meddled in the election campaign. Maybe they didn't try. Maybe it's still coming.
Since Mr. de Maizière seems to think that an attack is possible, perhaps he should look into the German government's own election software, since it apparently only took one IT enthusiast not too long to find holes in it.
We have found several fundamental errors in the PC Wall software dated 4th of July 2017, including insufficient protection of the servers and lack of encryption of the transmitted results. The weaknesses allow an influence on election results in various attack scenarios.
With fewer than 2 days to go before polls open, fear-mongering over a Russian hack of the election have come to nothing. Perhaps with this election being something of a foregone conclusion, it's no wonder that we've seen conspiracies and fantasies about foreign intervention and interference being a little more interesting and more exciting to pitch than talking about the race itself. Peter Oliver, RT Berlin.
Stay tuned, because in about an hour we'll be covering yet another rally by the SPD, with Martin Schulz headlining. And don't forget, tomorrow we start our special coverage of the German election.